The gallery is too quiet for a Friday night opening, which tells me everything I need to know about the artist. Real talent draws crowds. Mediocrity draws the kind of people who attend openings for the free wine and the chance to be seen. I'm nursing my second glass of a passable Merlot, standing in front of a painting that's trying too hard to be edgy, when I feel him before I see him. The air shifts. Conversations don't exactly stop, but they lower, like everyone's subconscious recognizes a predator has entered the room. I don't turn around. Instead, I watch his reflection in the glass protecting the painting. Tall, maybe 6'2", dark suit that probably costs more than most people's monthly rent. Hair swept back from a face that's all sharp angles and controlled danger. He moves through the gallery like he owns it, and for all I know, he does. Men like him own lots of things. He stops beside me, close enough that I can smell his cologne, something expensive with notes of leather and cedar, far enough that it's not quite invasive, yet. "Interesting piece," he says, and his voice is exactly what I expected. Deep, with the faintest trace of an accent that expensive American education couldn't quite erase. Italian, probably. "What do you see in it?" I take a sip of wine before answering. A desperate attempt to shock that falls flat because the artist doesn't actually understand the darkness they're trying to portray. It's pain performed for an audience, not pain felt. He's quiet for a moment. When I glance at him, he's staring at me instead of the painting. His eyes are dark, almost black in this lighting, and there's an intelligence in them that makes my pulse kick up despite my better judgment. "That's a harsh assessment," he finally says. "You asked what I see. I told you." I turn to face him fully now, and up close he's even more striking. There's a small scar cutting through his left eyebrow, and his jaw is the kind that could cut glass. "If you wanted pleasantries, you should have asked someone else." The corner of his mouth lifts, not quite a smile, but close. "I don't want pleasantries. I want the truth." Most people say that. Very few actually mean it. I'm not most people. "No," I agree, letting my eyes travel over him deliberately, taking in the Patek Philippe watch, the custom tailoring, the way he stands like he's never been afraid of anything in his life. "You're definitely not." "Dante," he says, extending his hand. "Dante Marchetti." I know that name. Everyone in this city knows that name, even if they pretend not to. Marchetti Construction, Marchetti Import-Export, Marchetti Real Estate, a dozen legitimate businesses that are really just fronts for one of the most powerful crime families on the East Coast. And here he is, shaking hands with civilians at an art gallery like he's just another businessman in an expensive suit. I should walk away, should make an excuse and disappear into the crowd, should absolutely not take his hand. I take his hand. "Aurora," I say. "Aurora Blackwell." His grip is firm, warm, and he holds my hand a fraction of a second longer than necessary, long enough that I feel the calluses on his palm, not the soft hands of a man who just signs papers. These are hands that have done work, possibly the kind of work that leaves scars. "What brings you here, Aurora Blackwell?" He releases my hand, but he doesn't step back. We're still standing closer than strangers should. "You don't strike me as someone who enjoys mediocre art and cheap wine." "The wine's not that cheap. And I'm a photographer. I come to these things to remind myself what not to do." "A photographer." His eyes do that thing again, assessing, cataloging, deciding. "What do you photograph?" "The truth." "That's cryptic. You said you wanted truth, not pleasantries. I'm assuming that extends to conversations." He laughs, actually laughs, and it transforms his entire face, makes him look younger, less dangerous. It's a lie, that transformation, but it's an effective one. "I'm starting to see why you don't like this painting. You prefer your darkness authentic. Don't you?" The question hangs between us, loaded with implications, because we both know we're not really talking about art anymore. We're talking about the fact that I know exactly who he is, and he knows that I know, and we're both pretending this is a normal conversation between normal people. Yes, he says finally, and there's something raw in the word. I do. A woman in her 60s approaches, elegant, dripping diamonds, with the kind of smile that doesn't reach her eyes. Dante, darling, I didn't know you were interested in contemporary art. Mrs. Valentini. He kisses her cheek, all practiced charm. I'm interested in many things. May I introduce Aurora Blackwell? She's a photographer. Mrs. Valentini's eyes sharpen on me. Blackwell? Any relation to Judge Blackwell? My stomach drops, but I keep my expression neutral. My father. Ah. The single syllable is loaded with meaning. How is he? I haven't seen him at the club recently. Because he's in federal prison for accepting bribes, I don't say. He's taking some time away from public life. It's the politest way I can think of to say my father is serving a 15-year sentence for corruption. Mrs. Valentini knows this, everyone in this room probably knows this, but we're all playing the game, pretending, being civil. Dante is watching me with renewed interest, and I can see the moment he makes the connection. Judge Harrison Blackwell. The corruption trial that rocked the city 3 years ago. The judge who took money from the Romano family to fix cases. The judge who took money from Dante Marchetti's rivals. Mrs. Valentini, would you excuse us? Dante's hand finds the small of my back, guiding me away before she can answer. We move through the gallery, past the mediocre paintings and the people sipping wine and pretending to understand art, until we're in a quieter corner near the exit. Your father? He says without preamble. He worked for the Romanos. He worked for the city. The Romanos just paid him better. That's one way to put it. His hand is still on my back, warm through the thin fabric of my dress. Does that bother you, being here with me? I should lie. Should tell him I don't know what he's talking about, that I'm just a photographer at an art opening, but I'm so tired of lying, of pretending, of being the daughter of a disgraced judge and acting like it doesn't define me. Should it? I counter. Bother me, I mean. You're not the one who ruined my father's life. Your enemies did. True. His thumb moves in a small circle against my spine, and I don't think he realizes he's doing it. But I'm not exactly innocent in all of this. No one in this room is innocent, least of all me. He tilts his head, studying me. What did you do, Aurora Blackwell, to lose your innocence? I knew. The words come out harder than I intend. I knew what my father was doing. I saw the cash, the meetings, the way he came home some nights looking like he'd made a deal with the devil, and I didn't say anything. I let it happen because it was easier than confronting the truth. I don't know why I'm telling him this. I've never said it out loud before, not to the prosecutors, not to my therapist, not to anyone, but something about the way he's looking at me, like he understands the weight of complicity, makes the confession spill out. Guilt, he says softly, is a useless emotion. It doesn't change the past. It just poisons the present. That sounds like something someone tells themselves to sleep at night. It is. His hand drops from my back, and I feel the loss of his touch like a physical thing. But it's also true. Your father made his choices. You made yours. You can't carry his sins. Can't I? His name is my name. His crimes are my legacy. Then change the legacy. He reaches into his jacket, pulls out a card. You said you photographed the truth. I'd like to see your work. I take the card. It's heavy stock, expensive. Just his name and a phone number. No title, no business name. The kind of card that screams power. Why? I ask. Why would you want to see my work? Because you're the first person I've met in months who doesn't pretend, and because... He pauses, seems to consider his words. Because I think you might understand things that other people don't. Understand what? That darkness isn't always evil. Sometimes it's just honest. The words settle between us like a promise, or a threat. I'm not sure which. I should go, I say, but I don't move. You should, he agrees. But he doesn't step back. We're staring at each other and the air feels charged, like if either of us moves, something will shift irreversibly. I'm acutely aware of everything about him, the way his chest rises and falls with each breath, the faint stubble on his jaw, the gold flecks in his dark eyes that I couldn't see before. My phone buzzes. The spell breaks. I pull it out, glance at the screen. My roommate asking if I'm coming home tonight or staying at the gallery. I type back a quick response, and when I look up, Dante is watching me with an expression I can't read. "Call me," he says, "when you're ready to show me your truth." He leaves before I can respond, moving through the gallery with that same predatory grace. People part for him automatically, and I notice that no one meets his eyes directly. They all know who he is, what he is. And I just gave him my name. I look down at the card in my hand, running my thumb over the embossed letters. I should throw it away, should forget this conversation ever happened, should go home and never think about Dante Marchetti again. But I don't throw the card away. I put it in my purse, and 3 days later, I call him. He answers on the first ring. "Aurora." Not a question. He knew it was me. "I was beginning to think you'd changed your mind." "I'm practical," I say, pacing my small studio apartment. "Not scared." "I never thought you were scared." There's a smile in his voice. "When can I see your work?" "Are you free now?" A pause. "I can be." "Where are you?" I give him my address, a 4th-floor walk-up in a neighborhood that's gentrifying but not quite gentrified, the kind of place where artists can still afford rent if they don't mind the occasional siren at 3 a.m. "I'll be there in 20 minutes, he says, and hangs up before I can change my mind. I spend the next 19 minutes in a state of controlled panic, tidying my apartment, which mostly means shoving clothes into the closet and washing the coffee cups in the sink, checking my camera equipment, trying to decide if inviting a known crime boss to my apartment was the worst decision I've ever made or just the most interesting one. The knock comes at exactly 20 minutes. I open the door, and he's there in jeans and a black button-down with the sleeves rolled up. Less polished than at the gallery, but somehow more dangerous. His forearms are corded with muscle, and I can see the edge of a tattoo disappearing under the fabric. "Nice place," he says, stepping inside. His eyes scan the apartment, one room that serves as bedroom, living room, and studio all at once. My cameras line one wall, my prints cover another. A mattress on the floor because I can't afford a proper bed frame. It's the opposite of his world in every way. "It's small." I close the door, suddenly very aware that we're alone, that no one knows he's here, that if he wanted to hurt me, no one would hear me scream. But I'm not afraid. I should be, but I'm not. "Small isn't bad." He moves to the wall of photographs, studying them with the same intensity he studied me at the gallery. "These are yours?" "Yes." They're a mix, street photography mostly, people caught in unguarded moments. A homeless man feeding pigeons, his face transformed by tenderness, a couple fighting outside a bar, their body language screaming everything their mouths won't say. A child's birthday party through a window, the joy inside contrasting with the gray street outside. Truth, like I said, the kind people don't usually want to see. He stops in front of one photograph. It's my father, taken the day before his arrest. He's sitting in his study and he looks tired, defeated, like he already knows what's coming. "You knew," Dante says quietly. "When you took this, you knew he was going down." "Yes." I moved to stand beside him. The FBI came to see me the week before, told me what they had on him, gave me a choice, cooperate or go down with him. "So you cooperated." I testified, gave them everything I knew about his dealings with the Romanos, dates, times, amounts. I put my father in prison. He turns to look at me, and there's no judgment in his eyes, just understanding. That must have been hard. It was necessary. There's a difference. Is there? He reaches out, traces the edge of the frame with one finger. "You feel guilty. I can see it in how you compose this shot. The lighting, the angle. You're trying to capture his humanity, trying to remember he was a person before he was a criminal." The accuracy of his observation steals my breath. How do you? Because I do the same thing. He pulls out his phone, swipes through it, hands it to me. The screen shows a photograph, professional quality, black and white. An older man in a hospital bed, machines beeping around him, his face peaceful in unconsciousness. My father, Dante says, 3 days before he died. Heart attack. Quick, painless. More than he deserved, if I'm honest. Was he? I don't finish the question. A criminal? Yes. A violent man? Also yes. But he was my father. And I loved him even when I hated what he did. He takes the phone back. So I understand, Aurora. More than you might think. The vulnerability in his admission breaks something open in me. We're strangers, but we're also the same. Two people carrying the weight of fathers who made terrible choices. Two people who love despite knowing better. Why are you really here? I ask. It's not about the photographs. No. He moves closer, and I can smell that cologne again. Leather and cedar and something darker underneath. It's about you. You intrigue me. That's not a good enough answer. You want the truth? He's close enough now that I have to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. I saw you at that gallery, and you looked at me like you knew exactly who I was. Not the reputation, not the money, not the power, me. And no one's looked at me like that in years. Like what? Like I'm human. His hand comes up, cups my jaw, like I might be capable of more than violence and fear. My heart is hammering against my ribs. You are capable of violence and fear. Yes. His thumb brushes my cheekbone. But I'm also capable of this. He kisses me. It's not gentle. It's hungry, desperate, like he's been starving for something he didn't know he needed until right now. His other hand slides into my hair, tilts my head to deepen the kiss, and I respond without thinking. My hands find his chest, feeling the hard muscle underneath the soft cotton, and heat pools low in my belly. When he pulls back, we're both breathing hard. That, he says roughly, is why I'm here. I should push him away. Should tell him this is insane, that we barely know each other, that he's dangerous, and I'm the daughter of a man his enemies corrupted. Should be smart for once in my life. Instead, I hear myself say, "Do it again." His eyes go dark. Aurora, you said you wanted truth. That's my truth. I want you to kiss me again. If I do, I'm not going to stop at kissing. Good. The word seems to snap his control. He backs me against the wall, his mouth on mine, and this time there's no hesitation. His hands are everywhere. In my hair, on my waist, sliding under my shirt to feel bare skin. I arch into his touch, and he groans against my lips. Tell me to stop, he murmurs, pressing kisses down my neck. Tell me this is a bad idea. It's a terrible idea. I'm already working on his buttons, needing to feel his skin. The worst. But you're not stopping me. No. He lifts me, and I wrap my legs around his waist as he carries me to the mattress. We fall together, a tangle of limbs and racing hearts and whispered confessions that sound like prayers. Later, much later, we lie in the darkness, my head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat slow. Tell me something, he says quietly. Something true. I've been photographing you. He goes still. What? Not you specifically. Your world. I've been documenting organized crime in the city for 2 years, building a portfolio. Your people are in some of the shots. I didn't know who they were at first, but I figured it out eventually. I trace a scar on his ribs. That's how I knew your name at the gallery. I'd already researched you. So this... His arm tightens around me. This was what? Research? No. I lift my head to look at him. This was me being reckless. This was me seeing someone who understands guilt and darkness and choosing him anyway. You should be more careful. But there's no anger in his voice. Men like me are dangerous. I know. That's what makes you interesting. He laughs, and I feel it rumble through his chest. You're going to be trouble, Aurora Blackwell. Probably. I should leave. You should. But he doesn't leave. Instead, he pulls me closer, and we fall asleep tangled together like we've been doing this for years instead of hours. When I wake up, he's gone. But there's a note on my pillow, written in surprisingly elegant handwriting. Dinner tonight. I'll pick you up at 7. Don't make me track you down. I should say no, should text him and tell him this was a mistake, that we should forget it happened. But at 6:55 p.m. I'm dressed and waiting when the knock comes. The restaurant is the kind that doesn't have prices on the menu, where the sommelier has a degree in wine pairing, and where every other table seems to be occupied by someone famous or powerful or both. The host greets Dante by name, leads us to a private table in the back where we're visible but not easily overheard. Do you eat here often? I ask, taking in the white tablecloths and crystal chandeliers. Once a month. I own it. Of course you do. He smiles. Does that bother you? Why would it? Some women find it intimidating. The money, the power. I'm not some women. I accept the menu from the waiter. And I grew up around money and power, remember? My father didn't take bribes because we were poor. He did it because he was greedy. Fair point. He orders a bottle of wine, something Italian and expensive, and the waiter disappears. Tell me about your project, the one about organized crime. Why? Planning to shut me down? Planning to understand what I'm getting into. His eyes are serious. Because if we do this, if we keep seeing each other, people will notice. And they'll want to know who you are and what you want. What I want, I say slowly, is to document truth. The real story of crime in this city, not the sanitized version the news shows or the glamorized version movies sell. I want to show the people, the families, the communities, the collateral damage. That's a dangerous project. So are you. But here I am anyway. The wine arrives. He pours for both of us and we clink glasses in a silent toast to bad decisions. Show me, he says. What? The photographs, the ones of my world. I want to see how you see us. I pull out my phone, scroll through the portfolio I've been building. There's a woman lighting a candle in a church, her face etched with grief. The widow of a soldier who was killed in a territory dispute. A teenager on a corner, trying to look tough but failing to hide the fear in his eyes. A family dinner through a window, laughter and warmth and normal life, with the family patriarch's gun visible on the counter. Dante studies each image in silence. When he finally looks up, his expression is unreadable. You make us look human, he says. You are human. That's the point. Most people don't see it that way. Most people are afraid to look close enough to see it. He hands back my phone. If you publish these, you'll make enemies. People don't like being exposed. I know. And you're willing to take that risk? I'm willing to tell the truth, whatever the cost. He's quiet for a long moment, studying me. Then, you're either the bravest woman I've ever met or the most foolish. Can't I be both? The corner of his mouth lifts. Yes, I suppose you can. Dinner arrives, courses that I don't fully appreciate because I'm too focused on the man across from me. The way he eats, slow and deliberate. The way he asks me questions about my childhood, my mother who left when I was 12, my year studying photography in Paris. The way he listens like every word matters. He tells me about his sister in Vermont. She married a dentist, can you imagine? A dentist in the family. And his mother who pretends not to know what he does for a living. He tells me about inheriting the business at 28 when his father died, and how he's been trying to legitimize parts of it ever since. Why? I ask. Why try to go legitimate when you're already successful? Because I'm tired. The admission seems to surprise him. I'm tired of looking over my shoulder, tired of funerals and blood and power plays. I want to build something that won't get my children, if I ever have them, killed. That's a heavy burden. It's the one I chose. He reaches across the table, takes my hand. Or the one that was chosen for me. I'm not sure which anymore. His thumb draws circles on my palm, and the simple touch sends electricity up my arm. I should pull away. We're in public. People are watching. But I don't want to. Dante. A man approaches our table, and Dante's entire posture shifts. The easy warmth disappears, replaced by something colder, controlled. Lorenzo. He doesn't release my hand. I'm in the middle of dinner. I can see that. Lorenzo's eyes slide to me, assessing. He's older, maybe 50, with silver at his temples and the kind of build that says he was dangerous once and hasn't forgotten how. Aren't you going to introduce me? No. The single word is sharp, final. Lorenzo's jaw tightens, but he recovers quickly. We need to talk about the union situation. Tomorrow. Dante. Tomorrow, Lorenzo, or not at all. Your choice. It's a dismissal, delivered with absolute authority. Lorenzo's eyes narrow, but he nods and walks away. The moment he's gone, Dante's posture relaxes again, but I can see the tension still in his shoulders. Sorry, he says. That was your underboss, I guess. Or consigliere? He looks surprised. You know the structure. I told you. I do my research. Lorenzo is my consigliere. He's also my father's oldest friend, which means he thinks he can question my decisions. His thumb resumes those maddening circles on my palm, including my choice of dinner companions. Does he think I'm a threat? He thinks you're a distraction. Am I? His eyes meet mine, dark and intense. Yes, the best kind. The waiter appears with dessert. Tiramisu that I barely taste because Dante is feeding me bites with his fork, watching my mouth like it's the most fascinating thing he's ever seen. The intimacy of it is overwhelming in the best way. By the time we leave the restaurant, it's late. The city is alive with Friday night energy, people spilling out of bars, taxis honking, the distant sound of music from open doors. Come home with me, Dante says as we stand on the sidewalk, his jacket around my shoulders because the night is cold. Is that a request or a demand? A hope. He tucks a strand of hair behind my ear. I want to wake up with you, want to watch you take photographs of morning light, want to know what you look like when you're not performing strength. The words crack something open in my chest. You barely know me. Then let me learn. I should say no. Should go back to my apartment alone and think about what I'm doing. Should be smart, but I've never been good at being smart. Okay, I whisper. His smile is blinding. His penthouse is everything I expected and nothing I prepared for. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, original art on the walls, real art, not the mediocre garbage from the gallery, a kitchen that's bigger than my entire apartment, and books, everywhere, lining shelves, stacked on tables, scattered on the couch. You read, I say, picking up a well-worn copy of Dante's Inferno. Surprised? No, just, it doesn't fit the image. What image? He shrugs off his jacket, rolls up his sleeves. The brutal mob boss who only knows violence? Something like that. I contain multitudes. He takes the book from me, sets it down. Want to see something? He leads me through the penthouse to a door I assumed was a closet. Instead, it opens onto a darkroom, a fully equipped photography darkroom with enlargers, chemical baths, developing tanks, everything. I turn to stare at him. You develop film? My mother was a photographer. Before she married my father, before she became a mob wife, she documented street life in Naples. She taught me when I was young. He moves into the space, comfortable among the equipment. I don't do it much anymore, but I couldn't get rid of her equipment. Does she know you kept it? She died 2 years ago. Heart failure. He picks up a print that's hanging to dry, a street scene, caught in perfect black and white. But yes, she knew. She was happy someone was using it. I study the print. It's good, really good. The composition, the lighting, the moment captured. You took this? Last month, I was in Brooklyn on business and I saw this man feeding cats in an alley. The way the light hit him, he trails off. I couldn't help myself. You're talented. I'm adequate. You're talented. He turns to face me. My mother would have loved your work, the way you see people. She saw them that way too. With compassion even when they don't deserve it. Everyone deserves compassion. Not everyone. His jaw tightens. Some people are just evil, Aurora. No amount of compassion changes that. Have you killed people? The question hangs between us. I didn't plan to ask it, it just came out. But now that it's there, I can't take it back. Yes, he says simply. Not many. Not as many as people think. But yes. Do you regret it? No. He meets my eyes. Does that make me a monster? I should say yes. Should be horrified. Should leave right now and never look back. Instead, I move closer to him. It makes you honest, which is more than most people can claim. Aurora! I'm not naive, Dante. I know what you are, what you do, and I'm choosing to be here anyway because I stop, searching for the right words. Because everyone else in my life has lied to me. My father lied about who he was. My mother lied when she said she loved me before she left. My friends lied when they said my father's crimes didn't change how they saw me. But you? You've told me the truth from the start. And that matters more than you might think. He closes the distance between us, his hands framing my face. I will hurt you eventually. Not intentionally, but I will. My world. It doesn't have happy endings, Kara. It has compromises and blood and losses that cut deep. Than we'll have right now. I rise on my toes, press my lips to his. No promises about tomorrow, just truth about today. That's a terrible deal for you. Then it's lucky I'm a terrible negotiator. He kisses me again, deeper this time, and we stumble out of the dark room and down the hall to his bedroom. The bed is massive, the sheets soft, and when he lays me down, it's with a gentleness that contradicts everything I know about him. Beautiful, he murmurs, tracing the line of my collarbone. You're so fucking beautiful. So are you. Men aren't beautiful. You are. I run my hands over his chest, feeling the scars there. These tell a story. Show me. He does. Each scar has a history. Knife fight at 19, bullet wound at 23, glass from a car accident at 25. His body is a map of violence survived, and I trace each mark with my fingers, then my lips. When we finally come together, it's slow, deliberate. Like we're both trying to memorize this moment because we know it can't last. After, he holds me against his chest, his fingers drawing patterns on my shoulder. What are you thinking? He asks. That this is the most dangerous thing I've ever done. Sleeping with me? No, falling for you. His hand stills. Aurora? I know. I press a kiss to his chest, right over his heart. I know this is temporary. I know you can't promise me anything. I know all the logical reasons this is a terrible idea, but I'm falling anyway, and I thought you should know. He's quiet for so long I think he won't respond. Then, I was married once, for 6 months. She was from another family. It was arranged to unite territories. She hated me, hated my world. On our 6-month anniversary, she left and filed for divorce within 24 hours. I'm sorry. Don't be. She was smart to leave. This life, it destroys people, especially people who don't choose it. He tilts my face up to look at him. I can't offer you a future, Aurora. I can't promise you safety or normalcy or any of the things you deserve, but I can promise you truth. Always. Even when it hurts. Then that's what I want. I kiss him softly. Your truth. However long it lasts. It won't be enough. Maybe not. But it'll be real. And I'll take real over perfect any day. He pulls me closer, and we fall asleep tangled together, two broken people who found something unexpected in each other's wreckage. 3 weeks later, I'm in Dante's darkroom, developing the latest shots from my project, when Lorenzo walks in. He's looking for you, Lorenzo says without preamble. Tell him I'm busy. I'm not your messenger service. But he doesn't leave. Instead, he leans against the doorframe, watching me work. You're good at this. Thanks. That wasn't a compliment, it was an observation. He's quiet for a moment. What are you doing here, Aurora? Developing film, obviously. You know what I mean. What are you doing with Dante? I transfer the negative to the enlarger, adjust the focus. That's between me and him. No, it's not. Nothing about his life is private. Everything affects the family. I'm not affecting the family. I'm sleeping with him. There's a difference. Is there? Lorenzo moves closer, and I can smell cigar smoke on his clothes. You're the daughter of a corrupt judge. You're building a documentary project about organized crime. You're asking questions, taking photographs, getting close to our world. That makes you either incredibly naive or incredibly dangerous. Maybe I'm both. That's what I'm afraid of. He picks up one of the prints I've hung to dry, a shot of Dante at his father's grave, taken from a distance with a telephoto lens. I didn't tell him I was there that day. He's different with you. Softer. That makes him vulnerable. And you think I'll use that against him? I think you're a variable we didn't account for, and in our business, unexpected variables get people killed. The blunt statement chills me. I don't want to hurt him. No one ever does, but they do anyway. He sets down the print carefully. His ex-wife? She didn't want to hurt him either. She just wanted out. But leaving him the way she did, publicly, humiliatingly, it made him look weak. And looking weak in our world invites challenges. He spent a year putting down rebellions because of her. I'm not her. No, you're worse. Because he cares about you, really cares. And that's a weakness his enemies will exploit. What do you want me to do? Leave? I want you to understand what you're getting into. The photographers who've tried to expose our world before, most of them disappear. The ones who don't wish they had. He heads for the door, pauses. I like Dante. He's a good boss, better than his father ever was. So I'm asking you, don't make me choose between protecting him and protecting the family. Because you won't like what I choose. He leaves before I can respond. I stand there in the dark room, hands shaking slightly, staring at the photograph of Dante at his father's grave. Lorenzo is right. I did capture him vulnerable. The set of his shoulders, the way his head is bowed, the single flower in his hand. It's intimate, private, the kind of shot that reveals more than it should, and I took it without permission. Aurora? Dante's voice comes from the hallway. You in here? I quickly gather the prints, turning them face down. Yeah, just finishing up. He appears in the doorway, still in his work clothes, dark slacks, white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, shoulder holster visible. He's been carrying the gun more often lately. When I asked why, he said there was tension with a rival family. He didn't elaborate. Lorenzo said he talked to you. He did. What did he say? I should tell him about the threat, about Lorenzo's warning, but something stops me. Maybe because I already know everything he said is true. Maybe because I don't want to force Dante to choose. He said I'm good at photography. Dante's eyes narrow. He said more than that. He's protective of you. It's sweet. It's annoying. He moves into the dark room, pulls me into his arms. What did he really say? That I make you vulnerable. That your enemies will use me against you. That I should leave before I get you killed. And what did you say? Nothing. I didn't know what to say. He tilts my face up, forcing me to meet his eyes. Say you're staying. Dante. Say it, Aurora. Say you're not going anywhere. I can't promise that. Lorenzo's right. I'm dangerous for you. My project, my father's history, everything about me is a liability. I don't care. You should. But I don't. His grip tightens. You asked me once if I regretted killing people. I said no. Want to know what I do regret? Playing it safe, following the rules, doing what's expected. I've spent my entire life being who my family needed me to be. For once, just this once, I want to be selfish. And that means keeping you, Aurora. Even if it's dangerous, even if it's stupid, even if Lorenzo thinks it's a weakness. It is a weakness. Then I'll be weak. He kisses me, hard and desperate. Stay, please. I should say no, should pack my things and disappear before this gets any worse, should listen to every logical voice in my head screaming that this ends badly. But when I open my mouth, what comes out is, okay, I'll stay. The relief on his face breaks my heart, because I know, even if he doesn't, that I'm not the only one keeping secrets. 1 month later, the threat comes in the form of flowers. I find them on my doorstep, a dozen black roses with a card that says simply, "We know who you are." I'm staring at them when my phone rings. Unknown number. Hello? Aurora Blackwell. The voice is male, accented. You've been spending time with Dante Marchetti. My blood runs cold. Who is this? Someone who wants to give you a message. Whatever he's paying you, we'll pay more. We want your photographs, all of them. They're not for sale. Everything's for sale, you just haven't heard the right price yet. I'm not interested. Then maybe we need to make you interested. A pause. Your mother lives in Florida now, doesn't she? Boca Raton. Nice condo on the water. The threat is unmistakable. I grip the phone so hard my knuckles go white. Leave her out of this. Then give us what we want. The photographs. All documentation of Marchetti and his operations. We'll pay $250,000. Cash. Untraceable. And if I say no? Then we visit your mother. And then we visit you. And by the time we're done, you'll wish you'd taken the money. The line goes dead. I stand there shaking, the black roses at my feet, trying to process what just happened. Someone from a rival family, probably the Romanos based on the accent, just threatened my mother to get to Dante. Through me. I should call the police, should call Dante, should do something. Instead, I grab my camera and start documenting everything. The flowers, the card, the phone number on my call log, because whatever happens next, I want proof. My phone rings again. This time it's Dante. Where are you? He asks without preamble. My apartment. Why? Stay there. Lock the doors. I'm sending people. What's happening? Just do it, Aurora, please. I'll explain when I get there. He hangs up before I can argue. 20 minutes later, there are 2 large men in suits standing outside my building. 20 minutes after that, Dante arrives in a black SUV with tinted windows, Lorenzo beside him. They both look furious. Inside, Dante says, barely glancing at me. Now. We go upstairs to my apartment. Lorenzo does a sweep, checking windows, closets, under furniture, looking for bugs, I realize, or worse. Clear, he finally says. Talk, Dante says to me. What happened? I tell him about the flowers, the phone call, the threat. With each word, his expression gets darker. The Romanos, Lorenzo confirms. They've been watching you, following you, building a file. Why? But I already know the answer. Because you matter to him, Lorenzo says, gesturing to Dante. And because they think they can use you to get to him. What do they want? Territory, power, my head on a platter. Dante runs a hand through his hair. There's been a war brewing for months. They've been pushing boundaries, testing our defenses. Your father's trial 3 years ago? That was part of it. They wanted to eliminate judges they couldn't control. And now they want my photographs to what? Build a case against you? Or blackmail me, or sell them to the feds. Does it matter? He's pacing now, caged energy looking for an outlet. The point is they know about you. They know you're important to me, and they'll use that. Then I'll leave. I'll disappear. Go somewhere they can't find me. It's too late for that. Lorenzo's voice is flat. They've already made their move. Running now just makes you look like prey. So what do? Dante stops pacing, turns to face me. You come with me. Full protection. Guards, secure location, no contact with your old life until this is over. For how long? As long as it takes. I look around my apartment, my small, messy, independent life. Everything I've built since my father's trial. My freedom. I can't just disappear. You don't have a choice. Dante moves closer, his hands on my shoulders. Aurora, listen to me. These people are serious. If they can't buy you, they'll hurt you, and I cannot— His voice cracks. I cannot watch another person I care about get destroyed by my world. Please, come with me. Let me keep you safe. And after, when this is over, we'll figure it out. It's not a promise. It's barely even a plan, but the desperation in his eyes makes the decision for me. Okay, I whisper. I'll go. Relief floods his face. Pack a bag. Essentials only. We leave in 10 minutes. I move mechanically, throwing clothes and camera equipment into a duffel bag. Lorenzo is on the phone, speaking rapid Italian. Dante is standing by the window, staring out at the street like he's expecting an attack. When I'm done packing, he takes my bag and my hand. One more thing, he says. I need your photographs, all of them. Hard drives, memory cards, prints, everything. I freeze. What? If the Romanos want them, they're leverage. I need to secure them. You mean destroy them? I mean secure them. I'm not going to erase your work, Aurora, but I can't let it be used against us. Us? The word tastes bitter. This is your war, Dante, not mine. It became yours the moment you called me, the moment you let me into your life. His jaw is tight. I know you don't want to hear this. I know it's not fair. But fairness doesn't keep you alive. Caution does. Strategy does. So please, just give me the drives. Let me protect you. I want to argue, want to refuse. But the memory of that voice on the phone, "We'll visit your mother," makes me relent. I hand over my backup drives. Thank you, he says quietly. I know what this costs you. Do you? I pull my hand from his. Because I just gave you 2 years of work. 2 years of truth, and I have no guarantee I'll ever see it again. You will. I swear it. Your word? I laugh and it sounds hollow. The word of a man who just threatened to lock me away from my own protection. How reassuring. Aurora? Let's just go, before I change my mind and take my chances with the Romanos. The hurt on his face is visible, but I can't bring myself to care. Because Lorenzo was right. I am a liability. And now I'm paying the price for falling in love with a man who lives in a world where love is a weakness. We leave my apartment, surrounded by guards. The SUV's windows are bulletproof. The drive takes us out of the city to a compound in Westchester. High walls, armed guards, security cameras everywhere, a gilded cage, and I'm the canary who flew in willingly. 2 weeks later. The compound is nice, if you like being imprisoned in luxury. There's a pool, a gym, a screening room, a library that rivals most universities. The food is restaurant quality. My room has a king bed and an ensuite bathroom with a tub big enough for 3 people. I hate every inch of it. Dante visits daily, but his visits are tense. He's distracted, on edge, always looking at his phone. The war with the Romanos is escalating. I can tell from the increased security, the hushed conversations, the way Lorenzo looks increasingly grim. Talk to me, Dante says one night. We're in my room. He's not allowed to stay the night, security protocol, and he's sitting on the edge of the bed while I stare out the window. What do you want me to say? Anything. You've barely spoken to me in 2 weeks. What is there to say? You locked me in a cage, took my work, and expect me to be grateful. I expect you to be alive. He stands, frustrated. Do you have any idea what it's like out there? 3 of my men have been killed in the last 10 days. The Romanos ambushed a shipment. They bombed one of our restaurants. They're escalating because they think they can win. And can they? No. But he doesn't sound certain. But they can hurt a lot of people trying, including you. I'm already hurt. I finally turn to face him. You took everything from me. My freedom, my work, my life. You say it's to protect me, but all I feel is trapped. I know. He crosses to me, and I see how tired he looks. There are shadows under his eyes, new lines around his mouth. I know this is hard, but it's temporary. You said that 2 weeks ago. And I meant it. We're close to a resolution. Another week, maybe 2. And then what? I go back to my life? Pretend this never happened? We figure it out together. He reaches for my hand, but I pull away. Don't. Aurora. I can't do this, Dante. I can't keep pretending this is normal. That we're normal. You're a criminal. I'm a prisoner. And eventually that's going to destroy whatever this is between us. It doesn't have to. Yes, it does. My voice breaks. Because I can't love you and hate this life. And I hate this life. I hate the violence and the secrets and the constant fear. I hate that your world turned me into someone who needs guards and bulletproof glass. I stop, swallow hard. I hate that I fell in love with you knowing it would end like this. The confession hangs between us. I've said it now, made it real. I love you too, he says quietly. If that matters. It doesn't. But tears are streaming down my face. Love doesn't fix this. Love doesn't make it safe. Love is just another weapon in your world, and I'm too tired to keep fighting. So, what are you saying? I'm saying when this is over, when you defeat the Romanos or make peace or whatever you're planning, I'm leaving. I'm going back to my life, and you're staying in yours. No. He shakes his head. No, I won't let you. You don't get to let me do anything. My voice rises. I'm not yours to keep, Dante. I never was. I was just stupid enough to think I could be. He stares at me, and I see the moment he realizes I mean it, that this isn't anger or fear talking. It's truth. Okay, he says finally. Okay, if that's what you want. It's what I need. He nods, jaw tight, and heads for the door, but he stops before leaving. For what it's worth, he says without turning around, these last 2 months with you, they were the closest I've ever come to happy. So thank you. For that. Then he's gone. I sink to the floor and cry until there's nothing left. 3 days later. The explosion rocks the compound at 3 a.m. I'm awake instantly, heart hammering, as alarms blare and footsteps thunder in the hallway. My door bursts open. One of the guards. Move! Now! I grab my shoes and follow him, adrenaline making everything sharp. We're running through corridors, downstairs, toward some kind of panic room or escape route. Other people are running too, staff, guards, all moving with practiced efficiency. Then I hear the gunfire. The guard in front of me falls, blood blooming on his chest. I scream, freeze, and strong hands grab me from behind. This way. Dante. He's in jeans and a t-shirt, gun in one hand, pulling me with the other. Stay low. Don't stop. We run. More gunfire. Someone is screaming. The smell of smoke is thick now, acrid. We burst through a door into a garage where an SUV is waiting, engine running. Get in. Dante shoves me into the back seat, climbs in after me. Drive! Now! The SUV peels out as bullets ping off the armor. We're flying down the driveway, through the gates, which are hanging open, blown apart, and onto the main road. What happened? I'm shaking so hard I can barely get the words out. The Romanos. They found us. Dante is on his phone, speaking rapid Italian, giving orders, demanding updates. Are people dead? Yes. His face is carved stone. 4 guards. Maybe more. Lorenzo is handling the response. Where are we going? Safe house in Connecticut. Different location. Harder to find. I should be terrified, but instead I feel numb. Like this is happening to someone else. Like I'm watching from outside my body. Dante ends his call, pulls me against him. Are you hurt? No. You're sure? I'm fine. I'm not fine. I may never be fine again, but I'm not bleeding, which I suppose counts for something. The drive takes an hour. By the time we arrive, another compound, this one even more remote, I'm exhausted. Physically, emotionally, completely. Dante leads me inside, to a bedroom that's smaller than the last one but just as secure. He sets his gun on the nightstand, runs his hands through his hair. I'm sorry, he says. God, Aurora, I'm so sorry. For what? For all of it. For dragging you into this, for not keeping you safe, for... His voice breaks. For making you love me. That wasn't your fault. I made that choice. Did you? Or did I manipulate you, seduce you, use you? Stop. I move closer to him. You didn't force me to do anything. I chose this, I chose you. And yes, I'm terrified and angry and I hate your world. But I don't hate you. You should. Probably, but I don't. He looks at me like I'm something precious he's afraid to touch. You said you were leaving. When this is over. I am. Can I change your mind? No. He nods, accepts it. Then can I have tonight? One last night where we pretend this isn't ending? I should say no. Should maintain distance. Should protect what's left of my heart. Instead, I kiss him. We fall into bed fully clothed, desperate for comfort, for connection, for something that feels real amid all the chaos, and when we finally sleep, tangled together, I dream of a life where darkness isn't dangerous, where love is enough. But I wake up alone, and there's a note on the pillow. It's over. The Romanos are finished. You're free to go. Your photographs and equipment are at your apartment. I kept my promise. Thank you for everything. I love you. D. I sit there holding the note, tears streaming down my face, because I got exactly what I wanted. My freedom. And it feels like losing everything that mattered. 1 year later. My exhibition opens to critical acclaim. Truth in Darkness, a study of organized crime, fills an entire gallery in Chelsea, and the reviews call it unflinching, powerful, essential documentation. People come in crowds to see the photographs I spent 2 years capturing, including several shots of Dante Marchetti. There's the one at his father's grave, the one in the restaurant, wine glass catching the light, the one I took through his darkroom window, him developing film, lost in concentration. He hasn't come to the opening, I didn't expect him to, but Lorenzo is there, studying each photograph with a careful eye. These are good, he says when he finds me. He'll hate that you showed them. I know. But he won't stop you. He promised you truth. This is yours to tell. How is he? Alive, which is more than the Romanos can say. Lorenzo's smile is grim. You were right to leave. This life, it would have destroyed you eventually. It almost did. Almost doesn't count. He hands me a card. But if you ever want to see him again, call this number. He won't reach out. Too much pride, but he'd answer if you called. I take the card, knowing I won't use it. Because loving Dante Marchetti is like photographing darkness. Beautiful, compelling, but ultimately something you have to step away from to survive. The exhibition runs for 3 months. My mother comes. We've reconciled somewhat, bonding over shared trauma. My old roommate comes. People I haven't spoken to in years come. But Dante never does. Until the last day. I'm there alone, taking down prints, when I feel that familiar shift in the air. I turn, and he's standing in the doorway, hands in his pockets, looking uncertain in a way I've never seen. Hi, he says. Hi. I wanted to see it, before it closed. And? He moves through the gallery slowly, studying each image. When he reaches the one of him at his father's grave, he stops for a long time. You captured something true, he finally says. Even when it hurt, even when it exposed me. That takes courage. Or stupidity. Both, probably. He turns to face me. I'm proud of you, for finishing this, for telling your truth. Thank you. Silence stretches between us, a year of distance compressed into this moment. Are you happy? He asks. I'm getting there. You? I'm alive, which is something. He pulls an envelope from his jacket, holds it out. This is for you. Inside are photographs, the ones his mother took in Naples. Street life captured with compassion and artistry, beautiful, painful truth. These were hers? My voice is shaking. Yes, I think she'd want you to have them. Artist to artist. He moves toward the door. Take care of yourself, Aurora Blackwell. Wait. I don't know what I'm asking for. More time? Another chance? An explanation? He stops, looks back. Do you regret it? I ask. Us? Every day. His smile is sad. But I'd do it again anyway. because you taught me that darkness doesn't have to be lonely. It can be shared, seen, understood. And that's worth any amount of pain." Then he's gone. I stand there holding his mother's photographs, tears streaming down my face because he's right. It was worth it. All of it. Even the ending.